大家好，我是康云. Hello everyone, I'm Kang Yun, and welcome back to Demon Souls, Chang'e's journey through Boletaria. In the last episode, we were doing a little bit of farming. I think we took out the adjudicator, and we were getting some Dark Moonstone in Shrine of Storms 4-2, and along with that, we got a bunch of souls, which allowed us to upgrade our Crescent Rapier to +4. I did farm the remaining Dark Moonstone or Shadow Moonstone shards off camera. And you'll see I got 20,000 souls. I did have more. I had like almost 60,000. I used some of those to get my magic to 50, or 30 rather. So we're getting a pretty strong AR on our Crescent Rapier now that we have 30. 30 is an important point to get your magic to because it's the soft cap for magic. So what that means is once you get 30 magic, a 30 magic stat, past 30 you will see less returns, meaning the higher you go, you'll get less scaling on your magic adjust from your catalysts. So you see we have 153 on our wooden, 140 on the silver catalyst with that 30 magic. And then the hard cap, or what most people consider the hard cap to be, is 50 magic, which is what I will ultimately be aiming for when I get my build all the way up. I think I'm going to keep this build around, I want to say 80 for a while, because it seems that there's quite a lot of PvP and co-op action around that level. But the reason why I have the 20,000 souls is because I wanted to get the Miracle Evacuate from Saint Urbain, and because we freed him last time, I figured I would show his dialogue when he comes back to the Nexus. And you notice now that that priest is gone, and actually we did miss some dialogue for him. If you go to the Shrine of Storms, I do believe if you talk to him again, he will mention that he is going to be setting out to find Saint Urbain soon, and you won't see him again. And we'll get more. Well, actually, we'll talk. We'll see if she has anything to say now that we rescued him.
Thank goodness. The Lord has not forgotten me yet. For he has allowed me into the presence of Saint Urbain. I shall serve him and pray with him, and thus express my faith in God. Umbasa.
Yeah, so she's pretty happy that Urbain is back.
I shall always be by Saint Urbain's side. That is the purpose for which God has put me upon this earth.
And if we talk to this guy over here, I'm sure he has new dialogue.
Why? You have rescued His Augustness. I express my deepest gratitude. You have relieved me of a great illness. Oh, thank God. Umbasa.
Like he was going to do anything.
With His Holiness Saint Urbain back, the magicians will have to watch themselves. Thanks to his holy miracles, you brave battlers of demons will no longer be solely dependent on dark magic. Isn't it wonderful? Surely the demon slayers have awaited such an opportunity.
He has a very, how should we put it? Almost sly voice.
Do you have any connection to Patches the Hyena? I trust not. He is a depraved, vile man, and he deserves no allies. I hope that an upstanding hero such as yourself is selective when making associations. By the way, I highly recommend the companionship of the jovial Saint Urbain.
I think that's all he'll say.
Have you heard the rumors about the Strya of the Valley of Defilement? They claim that she and her loyal knight have become demons and lead a clan of degenerate miscreants. In truth, The rumors are surely unfounded. There are all sorts of wrongdoers down there who would think up such nonsense. Yet, if the rumors are true, then may she be eternally damned for her debasement of the Lord's name.
Yeah, he's pretty,
Yet, if the rumors are true, then may she be eternally damned for her debasement.
He's pretty, quick to judge, we'll say. Now we'll talk to Urbain himself.
Thanks to you, I was able to seek refuge in this nexus. Now I stay here and pray, along with my disciples, for the heroes facing the demons. If you wish for benevolent protection in your fight against the demons, then bring me demon souls. I will cleanse them and create miracles with their power.
And we can learn Regeneration miracle with the swollen demon soul that we got from the Adjudicator. You cannot learn a spell from this soul, so I think we might as well learn it, because I'm not going to make the butcher's knife or the meat cleaver with it. 再生, that just means like those two characters for the name of the miracle is like, again, life, or, you know, basically it means rejuvenation. We'll learn that, and then we want evacuate. Now, we said that was Binan, which is to seek refuge. Okay. And that. And we have one miracle slot because that's what we start with, and we will learn. We will slot evacuate, which will be helpful to us when we want to go back to the Nexus, so we don't need to use shards of Archstone.
Aha. Estrella of the Valley of Defilement. The last I heard, Saint Estrella of the West was accompanied by the knight Garl Vinland. She would never be corrupted by souls, not under the protection of such a renowned knight in his charmed armor. Surely it is mere slander. Sadly, the weak are prone to such backstabbing. If you truly are a disciple, then you must have a talisman in God's image. Heavenly miracles occur in Boletaria through the talismans. God has granted this accursed land a special power. It is God's way of telling us we must stand against the demons. After the dark arts spread across the land, holy miracles were witnessed once again. The will of God is clear. We must defeat the demons, annul the curse of Boletaria, and purge the magicians who manipulate those accursed souls. As you know, souls are a source of wicked power, emanating from the demons. King Alant was overcome by lust for such power, and has placed Boletaria in her present predicament. Old Frake and the Candle Maiden are no exception. We must defeat the demons, annul the curse of Boletaria, and purge the magicians who manipulate. God bless this brave warrior, Umbasa.
Yeah, it's interesting that he points out what he says about soul arts being, you know, the dark side of the souls, or basically that practicing the soul arts is what brought about the scourge of the demons, or the scourge that happened upon Boletaria, and that Now, when he says that God, when they're talking about God, they're not talking about like when you get the when the attract mode plays for the game, the intro that starts with on the first day God granted gave life, soul, and that I forget the exact words, but it's implied that there is a god that planted a demon upon the earth to counteract man, I guess is how I take that. But with our powered up gear, we are going to slot a different spell. Actually, no, before I do this, I do want to show, because I'm sure people do want to see, but if you're wanting to farm the Moonshadowstone without farming the Crystal Lizard, which I am going to turn this to pure black and get farm the Crystal Lizards off. You want to use Cloak or have the Thief's Ring equipped here, and make sure you have your Crisp Blade out, bring a Magical Sharpness on, and use your Wooden Catalyst. And what I like to do is I run over here, and these Shadow Lurkers will sort of harass you, but they won't. They often will just fall like that, as you can see, and you can get a bead on the Reaper from up above, and he's weak to fire, and you can take him out pretty easily. And there we got a Moonshadowstone shard. And I don't have a talisman yet, but when I get one, which we will be getting one soon, I traded the one I had to the crow for the, or Sparkly, the crow or hawk. I guess somehow it's apparently a hawk, but people always have called it a crow, so I instinctively say that. But when I have a talisman, I can cast Evacuate, which could just warp me right back to the Nexus, which that is the main purpose for having that. It makes farming easier, because otherwise you have to make this run back and then touch the Archstone and re-warp to the same Archstone and just, you know, rinse and repeat, do that over. And you see, by doing that, we got 5,900 souls, so it's a pretty good way to farm souls. And those Reapers will sometimes drop chunks. I hadn't gotten one. Actually, I got a War Scythe to drop, surprisingly. But our next objective is actually going to be going to the Valley of Defilement. And the name of this area is what's like堕落深, and I'm not sure of that last character, but I do know that means cavern or like valley. And the overall name of the area is the Rotten or Defiled Valley. And I'm pretty sure the name of this is the Shaman. The Shaman Archstone. I might be wrong about that, but I can fact check that or verify that in the post, and I'll add that into the notes of the video. But we're going to be going here, and this area is good to come early on if you're a faith build, because you can get good faith based stuff. And if you come here, you'll want to have Royal or Noble Lotus equipped, because it does, and I do realize we are low. Oh, I'm forgetting so much. I wanted to equip a different spell, and since I have.
It's better than having you bother Master Frake.
Yeah. We are going to unequip Soul Ray and equip Flame Spray.
Be careful how you use it.
Because the enemies here are weak to fire. And we want to buy some fresh spice. So we're going to actually go to Latria to buy more fresh spice because the once Royal Mistress is where you get the best prices on that. We can make a pretty quick run to her. You only have to kill, I think, this one guy right here, and we should be able to one-shot him now with our upgraded New Moon piercing sword. And we'll two-shot those mind flayers now, and there's some fresh spice for us. There we go. And we'll buy some here.
Oh, it's you. Telling us over.
Okay. We can buy 34 or 6. I think we'll buy 34. Yeah.
Thank you. Now I can stay here for a little while.
And because we still can't use evacuate because we don't have a talisman, we'll make the short run back. And I will be making my winged spear a moon winged spear. I'm planning on farming the sharpstone to get it to +6 off camera and upgrading that. And I'll probably have to farm Moonlight Stone and Latria as well. So if you're following along with me at this point, it'd be best to have your main weapon. If you are using the rapier, then this weapon or any weapon, any of your main weapons that you're using, you'd like to have it to crescent plus at least +3, I would say, but ideally you'd want +4 or 5. You could be using the falchion if you choose. That's just as well. But for the sake of this playthrough, I'm using the rapiers. And this level, as I was saying, is full of rot and decay, and we will be wanting to equip those Noble's Lotus because you can get poisoned here. And I'll be showing that these, I can show off flame spray. There's these enemies, they're called Depraved ones. They're not super strong. They're weak to fire and slash, so the Crescent Falchion will do pretty good here. And you see with very, very little MP cost and three little puffs of flame from flame spray, and I'm just holding down the R1 and I can continuously cast here. Now this guy will sometimes troll you, but if you stand up here, he'll usually throw himself off the ledge. You do got to be careful because he can hit you through the floor. Sometimes enemies can hit you through the geometry in these games. So I guess right away I can comment on how this level is difficult in the fact that it's very easy to fall when you're traversing it, the terrain is very much irregular and haphazardly put together. You know, it's a place of where all the rot and decay of the world goes, and everything that's thrown away and unwanted. And we can see some enemies down there, but I don't think we can actually reach them. And there's a guy up here that will will shove boulders down at you, and if you run past here, you can get some. You'll see another guy get up. That's another thing. These enemies will be on the ground and they won't be active, so you can't lock onto them. But when you reach certain points, they'll get up. Like, you see that guy there? He's an enemy, but I can't lock onto him. But when I drop down here and go to pick up this weapon, he'll get up. And right here you get a morning star, which is, that's the literal translation, 前星, of that in Chinese. And you see for how little this costs, and with the if we equip the crescent rape here, we can get our MP back. And if you stand here, these enemies will very often just run off. You don't want to engage with these enemies up close, because the spear guys will hit you very hard with that spear, and the guys with the knives, or I think it almost looks like a nail to me, like they have some sort of nail. They have a very dangerous move. It's a shove attack that hits you multiple times, and at how low vitality I have, it's basically an instant kill if I get hit by all the attacks, and it knocks you back. But I'm trying to showcase that if you stand here, they will just eventually throw themselves off by trying to attack you. There we go. And there's one more guy there. Can we? Cannot quite reach him. He's stuck on the geometry. Here, we'll try to go over here. And by the way, I picked up this item here that had some, I think it was Lotus, and it has also the Talisman of God, which is the talisman we'll be using to cast Evacuate or any miracles we might want to cast. Which probably will just be like second chance. Alright. You want to be careful because there is a spear guy just below, and I'm gonna swap to the fragrant ring to get some FP back. The lock-on can be quite a pain in this level because there's enemies literally all over. He doesn't seem to want to attack us, so. I suppose we can do some sword and shield a little bit as well. Now this guy will get up when I walk past here. There's a nasty ambush. There's a guy waiting on the bridge, and he'll box you in and then poke at you, and then this guy will get up from behind you if you just run through there to attack this guy. No, I don't want to. Well, they're weak enough to fire that it looks like I don't really need the Ring of Magical Sharpness, at least not for these guys. So we can come down here. looks like if we hit him. Now, there's more. The guy to my feet. And he fell. That's another thing, is a lot of the enemies will fall. And if you don't kill them and they all fall and you get down there, they can all cluster up down there when you, like... And if you fall yourself, suddenly you're overwhelmed with enemies. Now, this guy, yeah, he'll get up. Ooh, that was that block attack, that shove attack, but I blocked it just barely in time with this sword. And he only hit me like once or twice, but if he were to hit me with all the full brunt of that attack, I would have probably died. So, you can come down here this way. This is like what maybe they might have intended you to do, but there is another way, and it's somewhat of a shortcut, and you can get some other items. Yep. Like right there. Very easy to just fall when traversing this level, so just be careful. Yeah, there's those items down there. If we walk over here, if you want to get back up, there is a ladder I can show. This is where we drop down and fight that spear guy. And break this. So we can come down over here, and then it's kind of hidden, but you can walk around this little board, and you can get Renowned Hero's Soul, 3 Crescent Grass, and then there's a spot you can fall through. And there's, I believe, some more, 2 more Crescent Grass. And then from up here, there is somewhat of an ambush. There's 2 of these depraved ones below, and we don't really want to face them. Okay, I'd like to be able to maybe kill them in one hit. Yeah, and Flame Toss will one-shot them, but for the cost of more MP. And this ring is the Magical Dullness ring. So, whereas the ring of the Magical Sharpness ring increases magic attack, lowers magic defense. This is the counterpart. This increases magic defense, lowers magic attack. So there's very few instances in the game where this is useful. I think it's mostly useful in the fight against the Fool's Idol and maybe a couple other spots. Or if you're just specifically trying to stack magic defense and don't care about attack. But yeah, that's the counterpart to that, the Magical Sharpness ring. And right below where I am is where we were just before. Cross that bridge, and you got to be careful here because these boards will fall out from under you. Yeah. And I'll swap back to the fragrant ring, and we'll use flame spray to try and take these enemies out from above. Yeah. And there's just that spear guy. Okay, I think that's all of them. But be ready to attack. Yeah, there are 2 spear guys that stand here, and I think one other guy. And the guys up there will often wander around and they will fall down. And if we traverse this fog, You can get some more Noble's Lotus. You can come down here. And there is another Depraved one. And there is, I think, another one or two. Yeah, there's two of them that stand up and they're hiding in the grass. You can get a Nameless Hero Soul and then a Shard of Faint Stone. Faint Stone is useful for faith builds because it allows you to upgrade your weapons down the Blessed Path, which will make a weapon scale with faith. And similar to how Crescent weapons scale with magic and give you MP regen, Blessed weapons scale with faith and give you HP regen. But it's noteworthy that the HP regen effect from Blessed weapons is much more potent than the MP regen effect on Crescent weapons. Now we can cross here. There's several diverging paths on this level, so I'm trying to show them all. You can cross here, and around the corner you want to be careful because there is an ambush. A Depraved one is waiting for you right there, and if we kind of quickly stab him, and then there's another one with a spear. We want to take out, and we can come over here, and we see an item here, but if we look behind us, when you come over here, I think you have to come up to this item, and yeah, this one will stand up while you're looting this and stab you in the back. This is a Stone of Ephemeral Eyes and the Saints' robes. It's cool. I want to point this out that in the original game, these Saints' robes, for one, they had a very different look to them. They really overhauled the look of these robes in the remake. And two, they used to be female or male only. But I do really like the look of these robes on both male and female, and they look different on female character models than they do male. And this isn't a faith build per se, but I do like how these look, so I may end up using these at some point, but because I've used them so much, they're my main, that's what I wear on my maybe we'll put them on for a little bit. But I've literally used those for the majority of my entire playthroughs on my other characters, so I was kind of wanting to use other gear. Now these are giant ticks. They don't actually attack you. They don't even do anything. They really just inhibit your movement, but you do, if you do want to kill them, you want to take them out from range. We can one-shot them. For some reason, locking onto them doesn't allow me to hit them with my spells. That's kind of strange. But those enemies, when you hit them, I think unless you use fire, if you were to just come up and attack them in melee, you'll pop them and a big cloud of poison will come out. And when you get poisoned by those things, the poison is very potent and will do quite a bit of HP per second. But that's literally the only form of defense they have. Now we can come down here and meet a merchant. But before we do that, I want to show you the other path that we didn't take. And it involves going back across this bridge and climbing back up this scaffolding. And right down here where we drop down, there's a plank here. Now, you're intended to drop down there And when you drop down there, there's 2 depraved ones that will jump out of the grass and immediately attack you. But if you walk over here just to the right, there's a little bit of a ledge here you can walk on. And if you walk just forward, you can drop down onto some scaffolding here. I don't know if you're meant to be able to do this, and I don't even remember doing it in the original. But, I guess it's not as big of an advantage for my character. But if you have any sort of AoE attack, like on my main character, you have God's Wrath, and I can use that and take out a lot of these enemies. But there is a lot of depraved ones that are hiding down here. And it's also very easy to misjudge where you land there when you're falling and fall to your death. But I'm going to come down here. There's a stone of ephemeral eyes. Somehow these enemies not here? I don't know. Usually there's 2 enemies that spawn there. I don't know why they're not there. There's a bunch more depraved ones over here we want to be careful of. And there was a crystal lizard there. Yep, there's one. There was a crystal lizard there. I missed him, but I'm not too concerned about that because he drops faint stone. Now, if I'm on a faith build, or you're playing a faith build, you really want to get that crystal lizard because faint stone is not easy to come by in this game. And your best source of it is getting those crystal lizards. Yep, and if you pick up this item, this guy gets up and there's one from behind. Yep. Yeah, it's very nasty ambushes here. We'll use Flame Toss to one-shot them. And there's another one of these giant ticks. Now, something to note of the giant ticks is... Oh, and right here is a Blessed Mace, which is very good for faith builds. It's a mace upgraded down the Blessed path. And if you see here, I don't have full HP, and if we equip this mace, you'll see my HP go back up. And it's only +1, so it goes slowly, but if you have a +5 fully upgraded Blessed weapon, it will give you 6 HP per second. And it will stack with the other Blessed stuff. Oh, here's that War Scythe I picked up. I forgot to talk to Thomas, but it's okay. If we need to, we can send stuff back to him. Because of what they did to redesign in the remake. But these giant ticks here, the one that I killed, we can see its dead body. Ooh, it's ugly. They are worth farming for Marrow Stone, which is what you use to make fatal weapons. And fatal weapons, they really lower the weapon's overall damage, but add high critical damage. So they're meant for it's meant for using on if you're going to go for a lot of backstabs and riposts. In here we have rats. They're little rats, and I think there's like 8 or 9 of them, and they will come out and swarm you. They'll die in one hit. They have very low HP, but if they hit you, they will plague you. And plague is a very nasty status ailment. And we saw plague earlier in Latria, and when I was fighting the that Black Phantom. If you're wanting to farm shards of Archstone, these rats do drop shards of Archstone. As you see there, I got one. Ooh, and you want to be careful because there's a depraved one there. But we can take him out with our crescent rapier. And the reason why I wanted to approach this situation from this way is, for one, you saw that I knocked this plank down, which allows you to have somewhat of a shortcut. If you were to drop down, you can bypass all that stuff up above that I had to go through. You do have to deal with some depraved ones down here, but you can come through here, and if you take out all the rats and you walk back up here, we are where I was earlier. So it sort of loops around. Those were those giant ticks were. And we have the filthy woman merchant here, who is a very useful merchant, especially for faith builds.
You there? Won't you please buy something? My poor child is hungry.
And she sells late and full moon grass, but at not great prices. She also sells widow and noble lotus. Now, if you come here and you don't have widow's lotus, and you get plagued by those rats, you can come up here and buy one if you have enough souls. So, because plague lasts for 10 minutes, you're going to want to cure it, or you're going to exhaust all your healing items, probably. She also sells black turpentine, which is a stronger form of turpentine, but it doesn't last quite as long. But it adds more fire damage to your weapon. She sells the mace, the war pick, the halberd. She sells Talisman of God, which I don't know why you would buy one unless somehow you traded both yours or lost yours, or I don't know, but she sells them. And she also sells rotten arrows, which are this game's version of poison arrows, and they do a 240 poison, which equates to 4 HP per second over the course of 3 minutes. So 240 damage per minute. She also sells the chain mail armor, the starting armor for the priest. And that set has the hard leather boots, actually, and the wanderer starts with the hard leather boots. I think I pointed that out. And she also will sell stones of ephemeral eyes for quite a high price, but she sells one stone of ephemeral eyes for every time. Well, she'll sell one to start with, and then she'll sell another one for every time you die in the Valley of Defilement in body form. But the price will keep going up until I think it hits like a maximum of like, I don't know, like almost like 60, 70,000. It's really expensive. And she also sells this new item called celestial grass, or, well, in Chinese it's called that character Shan is I think like the character that means like a sprite or like a celestial water being, but it's called green jelly in English. But this is item that when you use it, you get gradual HP regen for a short period of time, which could be useful for, especially when stacking it with other regen items on faith builds. But yeah, so she's a pretty useful merchant, mainly because she sells the rotten arrows, and she sells some good weapons, and later on in the next part of the level, she'll relocate there and sell some even more stuff. She'll sell a whole nother armor set, and she will start selling shards of faint stone, which they're expensive, but they're nice to be able to buy if you're a faith build wanting to upgrade a lot of different blessed weapons. We can talk to her.
You deserve to die, so let me give you some advice. This place buzzes with pests fattened on a diet of souls. You could do worse than keep some lotuses for protection. The price of survival can never be too high, can it?
She's very opportunistic.
How many years has it been since that witch Astraea came to this valley with that squid-headed knight? Those ridiculous white robes of hers. I swear I caught her glaring at my son in disgust. Yes, it's true. She's as nasty as they come. And she's a demon to boot. Not that it surprises me.
Yeah, so we've heard multiple times now from Frake and Urbain and the other follower of God about the Maiden Astraea, who is very heavily tied to the lore of this level, and we'll find more about her in episodes to come.
You could do worse than keep some lotuses for protection. The price of survival can never be too high, can it?
Yeah, I don't even have enough souls to buy anything, so...
Curses! I wasted my breath on you. Did that witch send you to torment me?
So, while we're here, it's worth noting that along with the Tower of Latria, the Valley of Defilement was the other level that Miyazaki commented on as to being the whole theme of this level is nature-made evil, like evil that comes as a result of the earth, which contrasts to the man-made evil of Latria. So the Valley of Defilement is probably my favorite level in the game. It goes back and forth between this one and Latria, but in particular I like the second part of this level, and we'll talk more about that when we get there. But this level can be extremely hard if you come here early, and it's very difficult to get through here quickly, and it's very easy to get killed by these depraved ones or fall. If you run through there are some depraved ones up there that will shove rocks on you, and you see up ahead we encounter our first giant, and he is no joke. He hits very hard. He cannot be parried or riposted or backstabbed. He's not too bad to deal with, especially from range. If you have fire like I do, you can take him out without too much trouble. But if you have to deal with him, and if you want to deal with him in melee, I can show you. I like to bring him over here where it's easier to see because there's fire. And he only really has 2 attacks where he swings. And we got a small one. Ooh, he hit us. And he killed us. That's not good. I probably shouldn't have messed around there. But he's not too hard to avoid if you dodge his attacks properly. And we really didn't have many souls, so it's not a big deal that we died. It's just that we lost progress, but we did and that was the beginning of his shove attack. When they do that sort of they start to yell like that, that's them starting up their shove attack. So you want to be really cautious when they do that. And you can take him out from range. And we do have Cloak, which we can use to sort of get past these enemies without attracting them to us. Just see, there we go, there's that one. Cast Cloak again. And he fell. But we do want to take these guys out because they will come down here. And we'll use some of this fresh spice. Ooh. See, that's what I'm talking about. Enemies coming from above that you don't always notice. That's what happens when you try to rush down here, like I'm doing, because it's one thing to go through this level and not die and take your time, but then if you keep dying, you can get impatient easily and try to rush through. And this is a hard level to rush through. Ooh, I think I don't know if we can get out where we are. Are we stuck here? Oh, well, we survived. Okay. Wasn't sure we should survive that, but this rapier can one-shot them, so that's very useful. And I'll try to showcase here. Well, we killed it in one hit, but those enemies do exude poison mist when you pop them, so you want to be really careful about killing them from out of range. And I want that one that's coming at me. And you can sort of pivot around when you're casting Flame Toss, which is useful. Yeah, the flame spray is very useful for killing enemies with low health in this level. Yeah, and I messed up because part of what caused me to take my focus off this guy was I aggroed. There are some enemies up there that will drop down. They will drop down and we'll try and take him out. Yeah, no, see, there was an enemy, there's two of them that will drop down. But they come down slowly, so you think you're safe. Yeah, that was risky, but I decided to do that. But the other way, if you wanted to engage in melee, you could bring him back there, because you don't have room to fight here, which is another difficult thing about that. And you basically roll through his attack and punish him when he misses, because he has a pretty easy to avoid attack. But if you just run in here, this is swarming with depraved ones, a lot of which will stand up only when you first walk in there. So you want to go in there, aggro them, and then, you know, come back. Okay. A little too close for comfort. And these... Yeah, see, if I don't... See, that there's the poison mist. And they're blocking this path. So if you try to rush past here, and once you pop them, they'll just like they're defenseless. They just try to hop away. And yeah, there one drops some Marrowstone shards. But if you try to somehow, first of all, this room has that giant in it, and it has like 3 or 4 smaller depraved ones. You try to rush past them. There's another one up here, and then you can't easily roll through this thing. I think you have to like, if you roll into it, you can maybe knock it to its side. But plus, there's like two guys with spears on the bridge, and then there's a giant. But, unfortunately, oh, he did drop something. Yeah, these giants can drop stones of ephemeral eyes. They can also drop large clubs and morning stars. And I think rarely in the second level, part of the level, they can drop pure faint stone. But we're just about out of time here, so I'm going to have to cut the episode here. So I apologize we're not able to actually go and fight the boss, which was my main objective going through here, is beating the boss of this level. But yeah, this is the Valley of Defilement, the 5th Archstone, the first section. It's a pretty short level, but it's quite a bit more challenging than the other levels for different reasons. And it's very much I very much suggest coming here once you have at least between 25 and 30 magic, and a +3 to +4 weapon, crescent weapon, upgraded if you're following my walkthrough here, to take out these enemies without too much trouble. And if you do that, you see, even though I only have 10 vitality, like I mentioned last time, we only got hit a few times because we're able to take these enemies out from range without too much trouble. But if you try to engage in melee with these guys, they can be pretty nasty. So I want to thank all of you for watching. If you did enjoy this video, please don't forget to leave a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already. And I'll see all of you next time on Chang'e's journey through Boletaria. Umbasa.